Hello everybody and welcome to today's webinar. Today we're going to show you how to build and manage data-driven apps in App Builder. On the line today we got myself, my name's JJ McGuigan, I'm the Product Marketing Manager here at Infragistics. And then we also have Zdravko Kolev on the line as well. He's our Head of Product Development. And we're going to keep it real brief today. I'll just go through a quick agenda here. Today will be very demo focused though, so these are the things that you're going to see today. So Zdravko is going to walk us through this demo. He's going to cover AI view generation. This is a new feature that we're launching in App Builder here in the next few weeks. Then after that, I'll show us a few of the CRUD capabilities with our form component, and then I'll show off a nice code review at the end for us. So like I said, it is going to be, very demo focused today. Not a lot of slides for you, but we will have a poll at the end. So once the draft gets through that, we'll pass it back off. We'll do a quick poll, and then we'll wrap things up. So with that being said, I'm going to go ahead and pass it off to Zdravko now.
Hey everyone, thank you, and I'm going to actually start with this. In today's digital era, data is at the core of almost every application. Whether you are building an internal business application or an entire dashboard, or even a customer-facing web app. So that's why efficient data management is about how quickly one can interact with it, update it, and visualize it. This is where features like the remote paging, which is something that I'm going to show in a bit, and CRUD operations come into play. They form the foundation of most modern applications. And as they scale, handling large data sets efficiently while still maintaining a smooth user experience becomes a challenge because of performance bottlenecks. Most of the time it's because of complex configurations, and that's where I would want to take us to take a look at how App Builder simplifies these challenges, allowing you to build structured, performant, and scalable data-driven applications with just a minimal effort. Talking about minimal effort, I will show off some of the new features that we've worked on lately, which is the AI view generation. It's currently available on preview environment. It's not on production, and most of the other features are also available only on preview until we take them to production. A bit of an explanation: what is the difference between both environments? The production environment is a stable, publicly available version used for building and managing your applications with confidence. The preview environments are actually providing a very early access to upcoming features that will allow you to test, to just provide feedback to us, and just for us to keep you informed what we're building on for you. And the preview environment is also publicly available, so you can do everything that you do on production already with just this small note that some things might not work as expected because it's still a preview. Yeah, let's head over to the app builder. You can find it on appbuilder.dev. This is where you can start off using your production environment and start building apps there. I'm going to go directly to preview app builder dev and just show you off the release notes that we're preparing for you. Generative AI, remote paging, multi-action support, grid summaries, and carousel component. I'm going to show all four features within today's webinar. Let's start a new application, a blank application. From here, if you want to try App Builder out, you can do it from here. You are going to be redirected to a welcome guest page, which won't require any logins for you or anything else. You will be opening App Builder as a guest user. In my case, I was redirected to my already logged in production account. So this is App Builder. A quick overview. You have the navigation bar at the top with most of the actions like publishing to GitHub, previewing your code. You have the canvas at the center. You have a section with all the views, components, data sources, variables, themes, and images on the left. And on the right, you have the properties panel, which helps you to set up your components. Something that I'm going to start off with the application is to actually show you the new generate with AI dialog, which is over here. And I'm going to just use a very short prompt, which is asking AI to give me a view with a card, which are predefined for me in order to pick them up and start using them. I'm going to click generate, and within a few seconds, I will receive the view itself. Here we're going to get a nice preview of it. Here it is. And these are the action buttons that you can regenerate if you want, or add. These are the actions. Add the newly generated content to an existing view, replace a current selection that you did from the canvas itself, or create an entirely new view. What I'm going to do right now is to add this to the existing view. And that's it. Basically now I have the, looking at the outline panel here, I have the master view, which is I'm going to change to be in a column layout. I have a row layout, which I'm going to both grow and shrink. About grow and shrink, I believe most of you are aware how flex works, but flex grow 1 actually means that the div will grow in the same proportion as the window size. Respectively, flex shrink 1 will mean that the div will shrink into the same proportion as the window size. And here I'm going to do the same with the nested column layouts. These are the cards that I have. And even we can take that further, and I can just show you how to add a component. For example, you can add a component with Control E, which is a shorthand for everything, and just to search for a component here. Or now that we have our AI capabilities, you can actually go here and say, okay, add me a navigation bar with 4 action items. The action items are located at the far right place of the navigation bar. Here they are. I can have the preview in full size. I can minimize it, and here is the interesting part. Now I'm going to add it to the view, and you can see that it will add it at the bottom. I can move it around with the outline panel very easily. And something else that I would want to do is to just replace a content already within my view itself. So I'm clicking on the component layout, and here I'm going to say something very short, which is going to be add me a category chart. Of course, the prompts that you use can be with adding a bunch of other components as well. You can say, okay, I want it to be to the maximum size of the container and so on. But now I'm just showing you the actions within the AI. I'm going to hit replace section, and you can see that the entire section was replaced with the category chart that I wanted to show. Enough with this. The AI capabilities are here. You can test them out whenever you want on preview. I'm going to just configure my application because we want to talk more about data today. I'm going to remove these cards, and actually I'm going to say, okay, about this card, I want to add an action button here, and I would want to actually bind these cards to a remote data, which is going to be based on with the pagination capabilities. I'm going to use the orders endpoints because I know it gives me hundreds of data, and we want to test performance. So get page orders with page is the testing endpoints that I have created with that purposes. I'm going to bind the title of the card to the order ID and the subtitle of the card to the customer ID. Let's head over to preview and see what we have now. But before that, a small tweak to the column layout. I will say, okay, I want this overflow to be auto in order to get this nice scroll bar next to the card. And upon going to preview, now you'll see it took me like 3 to 4 seconds to load all the data. So this is all the data that we have. It's a lot of data. It's a lot of data. As you can see here, we already have the code, the Angular code of it. And I don't want to stop here. I want to make that data performant. I don't want to take me up to 4 seconds to load a simple page with a few cards on it. I'm going to say, okay, now that I have my card almost configured, let me enable the paging capabilities. They're located on the properties panel of the card properties. You're going to get this nice notifications. Hey, this is a paging functionality. You can do this type of things with it. I'm going to head over to the paging properties and use the run setup, which is a very nice step-by-step guide of how you can actually set up your remote data. The first step is binding to the endpoint that I'm going to use. The next steps are expecting properties that we will have to set in order to specify how much items we want to load per page and from which portion of the data you want to load them, which is the page size and the page index. And the third step is about the total records, which are basically saying this is the amount of data that we're working on in order to have a very nice page view, how many pages of total, how much of total of it we're going to paginate. So I'm actually going to search for total records count and look at the orders, get paged orders with page total records count. I'm going to hit next and run setup. Quick browse of what this is going to give us. We'll work with variables that are going to persist the application state. One variable is going to handle the index, another one the size, and the page data request is an initialized with data from an API request, which is going to fetch the data every time we actually do paginate. About the page size, I don't want by default to be 15, I want it to be 5. So I'm going to set that. And just go to preview. Let's see what we have. Here it is. We have 5 orders already loaded. It took us less than a second to load everything, and our paging capabilities are working. If we open the network request, here you can see that upon making a request, we are fetching only 5 items per request, 5 orders. So this is why we get this nice performance. Let's not stop here. Let's just add a few very nice modifications, like adding a gap for these cards in order to be more visually appealing. And also, let's bind the chart to the same remote data context that it was returned to us by the data request. This is how we are going to do it. We head over to the data and we search for the local property, which is with the data request items collection. And from here, we can actually configure our chart, category chart. I don't want to show values for each of the order ID, employee ID, and shipper ID. I want to only show one value, which is for the cargo field, which is freight in my case. So here it is, the chart. And if I go over to my application, and you can see that upon every change of my data, the chart and the card collection on my left side is going to be updated based on the newly returned data that I have. Okay, what we have so far, we have shown remote paging capabilities. We have shown how to buy different components to the fetch data. Let's take this one step further and actually show some CRUD actions. How do we update the data that we're handling right now? I'm going to head over to this button and I'm going to say view details. And I'm actually going to add a new dialog. This dialog will be of type custom content, and I will add a form component. This form component is going to handle my update order requests. How we're going to set it up? Let's head over to the orders endpoints that we have on our Northwind and just search for the put orders request. Upon dragging and dropping it, I'm going to be served with this automatically generated form, which at some point submit, it will make a request to the orders endpoint. And for an initial value, because I want to fill out this form with initial value, I'm going to set a new variable, which is going to be of data type order DTO. And I'm going to say here, selected order as a name. I'm going to create it. What else we can do? As part of the actions, I'm going to say for this button, add me a new interaction. And now we do have multiple action support, which means that upon a click of a certain event, we can add, for example, setting a variable, we can close a dialog, we can navigate to another view. You can do a couple of actions at once. For now, I would want only to close the current dialog. So I'm going to pick that component, here it is. And a small enhancement that I will actually do is I would want to refresh the page once we make an update. So I'm going to to add this action as well. But let's not think that we're ready. Something else that we need to do is upon clicking on a certain order, we have to set order ID variable, which is going to point us to the concrete order that we are updating. So I'm going to head over to the interactions, and here I'm going to say set a variable. The new variable will be of type. Actually, let's pick up the type of automatically. I'm going to create a new value, which is going to use the paginator data request order ID. And you can see here, we're prompted with this selecting a variable is required message. And if I head over to create a new variable, automatically picks up that the expected type is number. So I'm going to say order ID. So now upon clicking this view details button, we are creating a new variable, which is order ID. And I will update the selected order to actually initialize from endpoint, which is going to pick here. I'm going to say, give me an order based on ID. And that ID will come from the order ID that we have set. I'm going to save this one. Now let's head over to preview. Everything looks the same so far. And the only thing that I forgot to add was upon clicking view details, I would want to also open the dialog window we just created. I see that we haven't added a few modifications to the dialog. Let me just add them very quick. I'm going to remove here the actions. I'm going to ensure that we have picked the select order here. Here it is. This is from where we're going to get the initial value from. And just ensure that upon interaction, we're setting the order ID variable. We're also opening the dialog. And the variables that we have, the selected order is going to be picked from the order ID. So here it is. Done and save. You can see that we're falling to mock because the order ID currently is no, but we can actually set it to some default value in order not to get this. I'm going to use the first available ID, and now we want to get the mock update. If I go here and say, okay, Thompson, I'm going to view the details of it, and from here you can see that we now see the order details of this record. And upon updating the cargo value, I'm going to set 100. I'm going to update it, and you can see, actually we won't be able to see it because we haven't updated the content here to show it. So I'm going to bind this context to the returned context cargo value. So now, if we go to the second record, view details, and updates to 200, update, here it is our value. Let's look at the code. We get everything already prepared for code generation. All the events are hooked in, all the services, the create form group object, the actions events, everything is ready for us to be used. So what have we shown so far? I have shown the multiple action support. I have shown how you can use CRUD with the form. I have shown how to bind different components to remote data fetched by a remote data source. And now I'm going to add something more even interesting. I'm going to add a new view and use one of our pure components, which is the grid itself. I'm going to make that view with a column orientation. I'm going to add one button, which is going to be at the top. This child view will have some small configurations in order to make look better. And I'm going to change the orientation here. This button is actually going to navigate me to the previous view, which was the master view. Here it is, done. And what about the grid? What about the grid? I'm going to say bind this grid to my orders endpoint. Let me just find it. Here it is. And I'm going to enable the row editing feature. So basically here under the feature section, you are going to see all available features that we have for the grid right now. And for the interactions, I'm going to say, I want to perform CRUD on a row added action of the grid. I want to execute the post order endpoint. Upon row editing of a row, I would want to execute the orders put endpoint. Here it is. And upon deletion, it will be delete post. Here it is. The order ID parameter will come from the row context that we are using within the grid. I'm going to hit done. I'm going to expand that a bit. And from the master view, let's see that this icon will navigate to the second view that we have added, where we have the grid view located. Let's hit run and let's do this. Let's go to the grid. Here it is. And let's make an update. Let's update the first customer, which is VNet. I'm going to head over to the cargo option and I'm going to set 500. Hit done. Yes, I want you to turn on live editing. I have turned it on. And also I'm going to remove the Hanar customer by clicking the delete action. This is a very nice representation as a row actions that we have in the grid, where you can actually pin, add, delete, or update a certain row. And if I go now to the previous view, you can see that the VNet one is with the updated value of 500, and the one that we have deleted is no longer present. I'm going to head over to the grid again and just say, okay, I want you to remove the Hanar customer ID. Let's just ensure that Hanar is here. Hanar is part of the second page. Let's request it. Or probably, let's use the Thomson record. Here it is. I'm going to delete it. And now head over to the cards view, and you can see Thomson is now ready. It's not present on our view. So yes, that was it. That was the main things that I wanted to show: how we can handle big data thanks to the grid remote paging capabilities, how to bind a couple of components as part of the context that we are using with the remote paging. I have shown you how to make data updates and deletions and edits with both grid and with a simple card view section. I have showed you the new multiple action support, which enables you to actually add a bunch of actions on some certain interaction. And most of all, the AI capabilities. Actually, something that is data related that I forgot to show is the new disable summaries capabilities as part of the grid. If I head over to the features and go to the summaries feature, which is over here. You can see that now on a column level, you can actually say, okay, I want to disable the customer ID summaries, the employee ID summaries, and for the shipper ID, I would want to actually include some of the summary operands or disable them, like hide them. Summary operands like this one: count, minimum, maximum, sum, and average. I'm going to use the order date. So for the order date, because it's a date time type, you can have only count, earliest, and latest. And for example, if I don't want to see count, I can just click it off and it will remove its visibility from the summaries. I'm going to hit preview in order to see, yes, the operand that we removed is no longer here. And that was the final the final feature that we did with this release. So in a nutshell, this is how a builder can boost productivity for very complex workflows. You saw how we have reduced a lot of manual work, a work that is something that developers should handle. And we have actually produced a very structured and well-defined code. You can see it here in the code view. And yeah, feel free to share any comments or questions that you have in the chat. We are active on Discord, we are active on GitHub. We're going to show all the links available for you to reach out to us. Give us feedback. This is why we have the preview environment. And yes, let's improve our builder together. Thank you.
All right, thank you for that demo, Zdravko. So like I said, we're going to go ahead and wrap things up now. I'm about to pop up a poll here. It's only about 5 questions, so if you guys could take the time to go through that, we appreciate any feedback that you do have. And while you're working through that, of course, you can always try App Builder directly at appbuilder.dev, and you can also reach out to us for a personalized demo as well. Here is our contact information. So again, myself, Zdravko, and as always, we have Jason as well. You can reach out to any of us for more information on App Builder. But that's all we have for this time. So we look forward to seeing you guys on the next webinar.